classes of
Progress.
so vertebrates and invertebrates. The main difference: vertebrates, vertebral column present or backbone present, but invertebrates no vertebral column, no vertebral column. So there's a main difference between vertebrates and invertebrates. So if you take humans and all the mammals, so we are vertebrates because we have vertebral column. And actually, someday you might ask this question: invertebrates, there are 5 phylums. So aren't there phylums for the vertebrates? Actually, vertebrate, actually that is a subphylum, and the main phylum chordata. But I'll share the screen now. In textbook also they have given, they have not given this phylum chordata, but actually we belong. So the humans also belongs to this phylum chordata. So I'll show you. This is your textbook. So they have given vertebrates, but not uh, phylum. So these are classes, not phylum. So they have given 5 groups. Actually, these are 5 classes, 5 classes of vertebrates. So what are the 5 classes? Least developed all aquatic fish case means fish, and then the most developed group mammalia, mammals. Mammals. So they have given here 5 groups. Actually, these are 5 classes. Groups means here classes. Right. Okay. And so classified into 5 groups. So this is what we are going to discuss under vertebrates. If I show you the A-level resource book, A-level, so they have given core data is there. Here phylum core data. Can you see here phylum core data? So therefore, if you want, you can copy down in your short notebook. Humans belongs to, I mean, the phylum chordata. What is our phylum? Phylum chordata. So which is not given in your textbook for additional information. So write phylum chordata. So under phylum chordata, so you get the subphylum vertebrata. Subphylum vertebrata, and under subphylum you get 5 classes. 5 classes. Okay. So let's move back to the theory table. So 5 classes. So first we are going to discuss class Pisces. Class Pisces. Before that, there are a few things that you should know about this. Also additional information. If you take this is the taxonomical level. So no need to memorize this taxonomical level. So if you take say humans, let's see the taxonomical level of modern man. In other words, human. So what is our domain? Eukarya. So the vertebrates, actually all 5 classes of vertebrates come under phylum domain Eukarya. So this domain, and then kingdom we call it Rajadhanya, and then that is Animalia, our kingdom Animalia. Phylum chordata, phylum chordata. Class Mammalia, order primates, family Hominidae, genus Homo, species Sapiens. So that's how you get the scientific name of man come from these two, Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Scientific name of man, Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. A simple. First letter capital. But anyway, at the end of this lesson, we'll be discussing what are the rules that must be followed when writing the scientific name. This is our scientific name, or the scientific name of man. So any organism we can put into this taxonomical level. So taxonomy means it's a separate subject. We call it Vargikarana Vidya, taxonomy. So these are the taxonomical level. So example, when it comes to Homo sapiens, only humans. Hominidae, there can be more than that. And primates, even monkeys come under that. Mammals, not only monkeys and humans, even other mammals, dog, cat, lion, that also. So therefore, gradually, what happens is like a filter, right? Bottleneck. Right? So gradually, the number of species decrease like this, decreases, and finally you get only one type, that is genus and species. So if you take gibbon, orangutan, so they come under phylum Hominidae. Homo neanderthalensis, Homo erectus, Homo habilis. You can select. I don't have time. Next day, PowerPoint slide, I'll show you what are the organisms under hominidae. So that's also kind of interesting. Then what organisms come under primates, like that. But mostly in the exam, I want you to remember these. Any organism, you should know the kingdom. If you can you please highlight these things? Please highlight any organism, you should know the kingdom. That's a must. They can ask that in the exam. And any organism, or any organism in the sense, even it can be plant or animal. So then you should know the domain. Any organism, you should know the domain. Then you should know, in case of animals, you should know a kingdom. Phylum not necessary. Then in case of vertebrates, you should know the class. If they ask vertebrates, then you should know the class. And family, order, they don't ask much. In case of invertebrates, you should know the phylum. In case of invertebrates, you should know the phylum. And you should know, in case of vertebrates, you should know the class. Vertebrates, you should know the class. Right? That's how it happens. I put here number 1, here and here number 2. Okay. But others, they don't ask in the exam. Others, they don't ask in the exam. So this is there in your theory tube, page number 5. Theory tube, page number 5. Right? Therefore, no need to copy down this, but you can highlight theory tube, page number 5. I have given this. Please highlight or underline the important ones, the taxonomical level. So you can actually, I gave this here downwards from 1 to 8. It decreases the complexity, so that diversity decrease. But if you take domain, so large group of organism, so gradually it increases. Downward number of organism decrease, upward number of organism increases. So that's how it happens, right? Then next one, I'll erase this, and let's move on to the next part. Phylum Echinodermata we discussed last week, right? So all this will label. If you are given an animal, example of an animal of any phylum, you should know the characteristics. If they give 2 animals, then you should know how to distinguish them using the features, right? Okay, now let's see number 19. Can you all please turn page number 8? Page number 8. Okay, one by one we'll discuss. First I am going to discuss class fish. So in other words, class fish. Right. Let's see. First one, right? Number 19, right? Page number 6. Page number 6. Those who have got the printout, page number 6. Sorry, page number 8. Page number 8. Page 8. Page 8, number 90. Right, complete the blank. Class Pisces. Class Pisces. Right. Within bracket, if you want to write fish. Now even invertebrates, can you remember invertebrates also we start with coelentrates, that also all are aquatic. All are aquatic. Here also this also class Pisces also all are aquatic, but the difference will the main difference, they have no vertebral column or backbone, but the class Pisces vertebral column present. So if there's a difference between coelentrates and Pisces, you can write that difference. What? Vertebral column present, vertebral column absent. If there is a similarity, coelentrate also aquatic, Pisces also aquatic. That's how you get the answer, right? Next one. Let's see these two. Actually, this is there are 2 groups here. First one and the second one. Can you see the main difference here? The shape of the tail. This is symmetrical. This is asymmetrical tail. Tail, there's a difference. So the tail, there's a difference in these two. First one and the second one. And here you can see the mouth. Mouth also the position different. Mouth here the front end, but here the mouth is lower end here. Mouth. That's a difference. Even though, so here the mouth, the position slightly there's a difference. Here the mouth, lower surface, low end. And the other most important thing you can see, here the gills are covered here, and here gills are not covered, so it's open. Gills are open to the outside, and here the bones, this bone is skeleton, so this one has bony skeleton, and the second one has cartilaginous skeleton, cartilage is skeleton. So that those are the main difference between these two. What? Cartilage skeleton and bony skeleton. Then fins, symmetrical, asymmetrical. I mean the fins, I mean the tail. And the mouth, it's front, and this is lower end of the body, lower surface of the body, not front end. So the position different. And they have more scales. So therefore, the first one actually, no need to write the name of the fish. So first one is bony fish. Second one is cartilaginous fish. Bony fish and cartilaginous fish. So therefore, under fish also there are two groups. Under fish case there are two groups, cartilage and bony. So there's a special name used, but they don't ask this in the exam. We use here, you can see, I will show the textbook, but anyway that's for the extra knowledge. Therefore I don't want you to memorize this for the exam. Since they have given this under extra knowledge, we call it chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. Osteichthyes and chondrichthyes. Osteichthyes and chondrichthyes. So the fish with a skeleton made of cartilage. If you want in the textbook, your textbook page number 20, if you want, you can underline, this is cartilage, underline here, bones and cartilage. That's the main difference. Bones, that is sometimes we call it cartilaginous fish. Chondrichthyes means cartilaginous fish. Osteichthyes means bony fish. Cartilaginous fish. This is bony fish. That is the main difference. So you can see they live in sea. Cartilaginous fish live only in sea. Okay. Who can give me an example of this cartilaginous fish? Yes. Bone, no bones, only cartilage. So you can, when you buy 1 kilogram of cartilaginous fish, can eat both bones and you get, like, you can consume more. But if you take bony fish, so you have to discard bones. Bony fish, you have to discard the bones. Except like sprats you can eat, but the other bony fish you have to discard certain wastage. So imagine you can eat say 700 grams, can eat 300 grams become bones. So you have to discard the bones if you take a big one. But cartilaginous one, even so you can consume. So no need to discard bones. Can eat cartilage. Yes, Sumela?
Blue whale.
Blue whale is not cartilaginous fish. Blue whale. Any other example, Giovanni? Safni?
Shark.
Yes. Shark, cartilage, bone, no bones. Mora. Right? Okay. Siddhani, yes. Any other example? Cartilaginous fish? Vinu?
Skate.
Yes. Madua. Skate. Yes, correct. Madua. So cartilaginous. So you can write skate, madumalu. Then you can write shark, moramalu. Right? So the body is made of, that means the skeleton made of cartilage. cartilaginous skeleton, cartilaginous skeleton. But this one bony skeleton, bony fish, bony skeleton. So the skeleton made of bones, and but anyway, this extra knowledge part not tested in the O level paper, not tested in O level paper, not tested in O level exam. But sometimes I have seen some teachers, the school term test, they have put questions from this. Not tested in O level science paper, but the school term test paper, sometimes the teachers might put questions from this, but you will not get questions from extra knowledge part for the O level exam. But anyway, if you are planning to do A level bioscience, then you better read this extra knowledge part. That will be useful those who are planning to do A level bioscience, right? So most of the fish in the sea and in the fresh water belongs to this type, bony fish. Most of the fish, majority of them bony fish, only few cartilage. So you can see the mouth is anterior and the bony fish terminal, right? Anterior mouth and terminal, right? The mouth position different, right? So therefore the fins also, there's a slight difference between these two. So these are the two examples. Front, the mouth is front and the mouth is anterior. Here this is like a jet like tail, here the symmetrical tail, right? So those are the differences. And here gills are open, not covered. Gills are not covered. Gills are not covered. Here the gills are covered. Caramal, gills are covered. So these are the main difference, and they have a lot of scales also, right? So you can see a shark. So there are more cartilaginous fish than this, but at least these two you better remember, right? Okay, so that's what I have given in the theory tube. So you better write, look at the screen now, theory tube, figure A, right? So the latecomers, number 19, page number 8, class fish case. But in the exam, don't write class fish. So you have to write the word fish case, right? Okay. Then write A, right? Bony fish. Bony fish. This is cartilaginous fish. Cartilaginous fish, right? And the other, I have got two other example. Now remember this. Who can tell me who is figure C? Figure C, yes. Nisula?
Seahorse.
Seahorse. Remember, seahorse is not a horse. Seahorse is not a horse. So why it is called seahorse? So the morphology, like appearance, look like a horse, and swimming, they swim keeping the head up. They swim keeping the head up. Seahorse. Remember, seahorse is not a horse. That is a fish. Bony fish. If you want to write within bracket, seahorse is a bony fish. Bony fish. And figure D, who can tell me who is this? Figure D? Talal?
A ray and it's cartilaginous fish.
Yes, that is skate. Yes. Cartilaginous fish. Other than that, if you want, you can write after skate, you can write shark also, you can write. Additional example, shark. That is also cartilaginous fish. So you can write in front of skate, write cartilage. Cartilaginous skeleton. The skeleton is made of cartilage. Cartilage. This also the skeleton, cartilage. Now, actually coelenterate no skeleton, but this one internal or endoskeleton is present, but it is made of cartilage, right? So you should know few examples. They will not give colorful diagrams in the exam, and you don't need to distinguish. You don't need to remember the characteristics of cartilaginous and the bony fish. They have given this under extra knowledge in your textbook. And the other features you should now. Let's see the main characteristics of class fish case. Let's move back to the table, previous page table. Okay, look at this table. Class fish case. Habitat. All are aquatic. All are aquatic. Complete the table. Page number, previous page, right? So this is page number 7. Page number 7. All are aquatic. Within bracket, if you want to write both freshwater and marine water. Both freshwater and marine water. And if you cartilaginous one only in marine water, they will never live in fresh water. Cartilaginous fish, they live only in marine water, sea water. All are marine, cartilaginous. Bony fish can be in both fresh water as well as in marine environment or sea water, both sea and fresh water. So they have the skin is covered with scales. So write the next feature, covered with scales. Covered with scales. Skin is covered with scales. Body is covered with scales. Next one, heart chambers. So all the vertebrates, they have a heart, but heart chambers different. So they have two chambers in the heart. We have four chambered heart, two ventricles and two auricles. They have two chambers in the heart, two chambers. Then cold-blooded or warm-blooded. Actually, they are cold-blooded. I will tell you what is the meaning of cold-blooded and warm-blooded. Cold-blooded. What is the meaning of cold-blooded? Body temperature changes with the environmental temperature. Can you please write separately in your writing book or here itself at the bottom of this table, below this table, write everyone. Please write cold-blooded. Put write cold-blooded in front of cold-blooded. Right? Body temperature changes with the environmental temperature. Body temperature changes with the environmental temperature. So that is the meaning of cold-blooded. Body temperature changes with the environmental temperature. But our body temperature, either you live in Nuvareli or Colombo or European country, your body temperature fixed, that is 37. Our body temperature is constant. Our body temperature does not change with the environmental temperature. Understood? So our body temperature does not change with the environmental temperature. Therefore, we are warm-blooded. We are warm-blooded. But fish, they are cold-blooded. Cold-blooded animals. Can you please write here, body temperature changes with the environmental temperature. There's a separate term they use this. They call it homeothermic. Homeothermic. What is the other term they use for this? Homeothermic. Cold-blooded, the single term they cold-blooded is also known as homeothermic. Homeothermic. Right, homeothermic. Then reproduction born out of eggs. Reproduction born out of eggs. All the fish born out of eggs. They don't give birth to young ones, born out of eggs. And external fertilization. External fertilization. Example, male organism, male fish release sperms into water. Sperms in water. And female ones release eggs into water. Eggs. So they meet in water. That means the sperms and the eggs meet in water separately outside, not inside the body. So what is this called? External fertilization. External fertilization. that means not inside the body, right? But they can have a pouch uh, to keep the young ones, but the fertilization not in the female reproductive organs. So therefore the fertilization is external, because no problem, no need to cover with hard shell like vertebrates, like python, viper, snakes. They have a hard shell here, hard shell, but they don't need hard shell like the vertebrates or the reptiles. I mean reptiles, not vertebrates, reptiles, because I mean the less chance of drying out these eggs, because they are in aquatic environment, they are not dried out. So mechanical damage is less due to the sun or heat or other mechanical or the climatic conditions, so the less lower risk of damaging the eggs of the fish, therefore. But other interesting thing, fish lay thousands of eggs. They lay large number of eggs at a time. Some of them might get fertilized, some of them might not get fertilized, so they lay large, that is called overproduction. Large amount of eggs they lay, large amount of eggs. A fish release large amount of eggs into water, that is called overproduction. Because sometimes what happen when from these eggs, when the young ones are born, what happen, all will not live until reproductive age. So before they become adults, before they start reproducing, what happen, most of them sometimes goes to your plate, right? Goes to your plate. Sometimes they are eaten by the large fish, so they become the prey of the predators, the small fish, and some of the eggs can get destroyed. Therefore we call it overproduction. They produce more than the required amount. That's why even though you eat so many fish, they don't get extinct from the sea. The fish will not get extinct from the sea because of this overproduction, or they lay large amount of eggs, right? So that is about the reproduction. So I'll erase until this. Then let's move on to the respiratory organs. The born out of eggs I have already given, no? For all these until mammals, all are born out of eggs. Only thing you have to write fertilization external. So this part only, don't write common to everyone. Internal fertilization. I think I have not given a separate one, fertilization. So we have to write internal fertilization right here, only for the fish. External fertilization. External fertilization. External fertilization. External fertilization. Then respiratory organs. Actually, they have gills. What is the respiratory organ? Gills. Skeleton, right? Endoskeleton. Endo, or you can write internal skeleton made of cartilage or bones. Endoskeleton within brackets, right? Cartilage or bones / bones. Bones, bony or cartilage, but their skeleton is internal. Then special features. Under special features, please write, they use fins and tail for swimming and balance in the body. They use fins for swimming and balance in the body. I'll write under special features separately. Under special features, write fins for swimming and balance in the body. Fins for swimming and balance in the body. And balance in the body. Balance in the body. Then there's one more special feature you can write here, other than fins, or fins highlight if you want. There's a lateral line in the body to detect vibration. Lateral body line to detect vibration. They have a lateral body line to detect vibration. Right here, lateral line of the body to detect vibration. Lateral body line. Lateral line in the body to detect vibration. To detect vibration. To detect vibration. What are the two special features? Fins for swimming and balancing the body, and lateral line of the body to detect vibration. Examples, right? I'll give the most important examples first. You can write seahorse, then sprats. Okay, seahorse, sprats. Then you can write tuna, kelavalla, balaya, tuna. Then you can write the cartilaginous one also. We will write two of cartilaginous fish: shark and scale. Right. If you look at the A level, yeah, shark and skates, and then they have given all aquatic here, tuna, carp, yeah. Right. Most of them external fertilization. There are some exceptions. Eggs are fertilized internally. Now there's a but if you take cartilaginous ones, eggs are internally fertilized, but the others bony fish external. But they don't test that in your with from you in oral exam. But there's a difference. Cartilage and the bony fish, the fertilization, but it's not necessary for O level one, right? Okay, right. So that's it off for the class fish case. Now let's see the next developed class. Second most developed class of vertebrates, class amphibia. Class amphibia. Before we complete the table, let's see the organisms or the examples under class amphibia. Class amphibia, turn the same your theory table, page number 8. Page number 8. Here you can see the examples. So please write under page 8, class amphibia, class amphibia. Ubhayajeevi, amphibia. Amphoteric. Can you remember the amphoteric oxides? Ampho mostly come like they have dual nature. Ampho means like mostly dual nature. Amphoteric oxide means they show both acidic and basic properties. Here amphibia. So they to complete their life cycle they need water. Water is necessary to complete their life cycle. What is necessary to complete their life cycle? So you can write here toad, frogs, toad. So write the examples here. I have given few examples: frog, toad, then salamander. So these are the examples under amphibia. Then let's see the main characteristics of the class amphibia. I'll move back to the table. Amphibia habitat. So write both aquatic and terrestrial. Both aquatic and terrestrial. That means this is the first organism, first evolved organism to the land. First evolved organism to the land. After fish all are aquatic. So that is a special feature, like under like Annelida in your invertebrate phylum. After coelenterate Annelida, what happened? Earthworm live in moist environment. Like that, amphibians also, they live in mostly in moist environment, wet environment. If you go to Singharaja forest, there are amphibians, right? And water bodies. So under amphibians, right, habitat, aquatic and terrestrial. Young stage live in water. Aquatic and terrestrial. Actually to young stage live in water. Adults live on the land. Bodies not covered with scales. That is very, very important. Please highlight. No scales on the skin, no glands, no scales. Moist skin, wet skin, no glands, no glands on the skin. Sorry, not no gland, no scales. So in the exam, if there is a difference between fish and this one, here the scales are present, but this one no scales. The other most important thing here, they have mucous skin with glands, skin with glands but no scales, with glands, with glands. So write in short form, glands present but scales absent. Or wet skin like mucus. Mucus skin with glands. I'll give one of the example. If dog is going to bite a frog, if a dog is going to kill the frog by taking this frog into the mouth of the dog, immediately dog will release this frog back. Why? Because the frog will start releasing some harmful like chemicals or venom from these poisonous glands from the skin. So that is for their safety. So these glands can contain poisonous chemicals to protect from enemies. Some of the chemicals even harmful to humans. So that's why the dogs will never be able to bite the frog and kill even cats. Right? So they might play when with the frog, but they can't kill the frog because of this. Using the mouth, they can't bite because of this. So with glands, very important. With glands, very important. And no scales, highlight. Please highlight, these are the areas where they test in the exam. Amphibians, no scales, but they have glands in the skin. But this one, the scales are present and no glands. No glands. The fish, no glands. Only scales. But here opposite. Here scales are absent, glands are present. And if you take amphibians, three-chambered heart. Three-chambered heart, both reptiles and amphibians. Three-chambered heart, but reptiles, the ventricles not completed, not fully separated. Then cold-blooded or warm-blooded. Actually, amphibians, they are cold-blooded. What is the mean of cold-blooded? Body temperature is not fixed. Body temperature is not fixed. Those who came late, those who joined late, so this first column we have done, right? Then, so here I taught two heart chambers. Then both are born out of eggs. Amphibians also lay eggs, but the only difference, amphibians, fertilization external. Female amphibian, female frog lay some eggs in moist environment. Male frog come and release sperms onto these eggs. Male frog release sperms onto this egg. So next time PowerPoint slide I'll explain how it happens. So it is in the because they live in moist environment. So therefore in dry environment that is not possible. Internal fertilization is must. Reptiles they can't have Hambantara, the extreme environmental conditions, dry climate, the eggs will get destroyed. That's why the eggs are released to the outside, but the fertilization is internal. The sperm and the egg meet inside the body, right? Inside the body. After that, they will lay the eggs outside. Egg is covered by a shell. Okay. Then, but amphibians internal fertilization. External fertilization. External fertilization. If you can write here, external fertilization. Both amphibians and fish, external fertilization. But sometimes there are exceptions. Some of the fish fertilization internal. Then the respiratory organs of amphibians, second column you can write gills and lungs, both gills and lungs. Sometimes they use the wet skin also for the respiration. Gills, lungs and wet skin, you can write all three. Gills for whom? The aquatic, the young stage live in water. The aquatic ones, they use gills for the, and they use moist skin, moist skin, and they can use lungs also. They use adults, they use lungs, moist skin. Sometimes they use buccal cavity also for the respiration. Buccal cavity also they use for the respiration, right? Adults, lungs, and young stage live in water, tadpoles, so they use gills or the moist skin. Let's see now, in biology resource book, they have given some additional information. You can see here. So first group to invade the land to complete life cycle. So live in both and water. I told they're both terrestrial and aquatic. Only on land or fresh water, no marine species. Then they have tetrapods, no leaves. So these are the special features. Body is covered with thin, moist skin, no scales, sensitive to the environmental changes. Moist skin. So they have moist skin. No scales. So these are the important parts. Features they could ask in the exam. They show external fertilization. Eggs without shells. And reproduction part you can write mostly external fertilization, but no eggs around the shell, because in moist environment, they live in moist environment. Others not necessary. So this is called ectothermic. What is this called? This is called cold-blooded. Earlier, I think I gave homeothermic. That is wrong. Homeothermic for mammals, warm-blooded. Please make this poikilothermic or ectothermic. For the fish also, you better write below cold-blooded, right? Ectothermic, or we call it poikilothermic. That means cold-blooded. What are the other terms used for this? Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded is also known as ectothermic or poikilothermic. Thermal means heat. That means body temperature is not constant. Body temperature changes with the environmental temperature of the amphibians and fish both. But our body temperature won't change with the environmental temperature. Our body temperature is 37. Okay. Right. Then back to the theory. And skeleton you can write bony skeleton, bony internal skeleton, bony internal skeleton, bony endoskeleton. Under special features you can write they are actually, I told you now, this is the first group to invade land, first class, or the first animal group to invade land, first animal group to invade land. Out of vertebrates, vertebrates. And water is necessary to complete life cycle. That is also a special feature. Water is necessary to complete their life cycle, because young stage live in water. Water is necessary to complete life cycle. So I am using the the line, the thickness more, because that's why I find it difficult, right? But you can write it nicely in your theory too. What is essential to complete life cycle, or else there's an aquatic stage present in the life cycle. So this is the first group to invade land during evolution. They have limbs for the locomotion also. Three-chambered heart. Okay. Then examples you can write: frog, tadpoles, or toads, tadpoles, frog, toads, salamandra. Those are the examples. Anyway, these vertebrates, so 5 classes, you are more familiar with these organisms than echinodermata, coelenterate, invertebrate phylums, because vertebrate classes more developed than evolutionary, they are more developed than invertebrate phylums. Again, I am repeating, 5 classes of vertebrates, the organisms under 5 classes of vertebrates, they are evolutionary, they are more developed than the invertebrate phylums like coelenterate, annelida, mollusca, arthropoda, because they don't have backbone, they don't have vertebral column, so they have least developed organisms. I mean, under coelenterate, annelida, least developed organisms, animal. Okay, then let's see the third class. Class reptilia. Reptilia. Amphibia, class Pisces. So reptiles. Actually, reptiles mostly live in terrestrial environment. You can see here, I give actually these three because most of the students, they put these two, turtles and tortoise, they put under mollusca, covered with the shell. Covered with the shell. We have seen this in marking. Most of the students, they put this one and this A and B, they put under mollusca, which is wrong. Be careful. Even though the body is covered with shell, they are not like, you can't put with this, because they mix up this with the snail. The snail also, the body is covered with the shell, so therefore they think this ibbo and casbao, so they put this also with the snail, like the looks like the snail they put. But remember, they said completely different features here. They have lungs here, and they are reptiles. They cannot completely live in water. So turtles are found in the sea, but turtles, they have lungs. They can't completely live in water. They can stay in water maybe 10 to 20 minutes. After that, again they come to the surface of water and take oxygen or air from the not from water. They don't have gills. No gills. Very important. If you put them into water, they will not die, but they can't breathe underwater. These two. Therefore, some of the reptiles associated with aquatic environment. Some of the reptiles associated with marine as well as freshwater. So you can write here habitat, actually both terrestrial and aquatic. So I'll write here, okay, write here class reptilia. So here write tortoise. Then here write turtles, casbao, and here snake. All the serpents, actually all the serpents come under reptile. So you can write here cobra, that's a type of snake, cobra. And here crocodile. Can you please write some other examples separately? Rightmost side top, rightmost side corner, you can write few more examples other than these 4 organisms. Yes, who can tell me some other reptiles, the names? Please raise a hand. Other than these 4, write only the names, no need the pictures. I'll put A, B, C, D, E. I put E here. One more example. Yes, Sumela.
Iguana.
Okay, yes, very good. Iguana. Anything else? Any other? A, B, C, D, F. Yes, any other reptile? Naphtali. Any other reptiles? The names, you know a lot of reptiles. Nisula?
Alligator.
Alligator, yes, alligator, correct. Alligator. Not only alligator, have you heard about anaconda? Anaconda. Anaconda reptile. I'll ask about 65 million years ago, right? Who invaded the earth? not mammals. Now mammals or the vertebrates are dominant on the earth. Ne? Mammals or humans are dominant. So what was the most dominant species on the earth about 65 million years ago? Not mammals, not humans. So giant reptiles. What is the term used for them? Yes, those giant reptiles, those who live about long time back on the earth, and they have got extinct now. Vanda vela gilla. Extinct. Yes, Siddhani? Randir? Who are Yoni?
Dinosaurs.
Very good.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Yes, right. One more. Very good. Yes. Dinosaurs. Right here, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. Iguana, anaconda, dinosaurs. All right, one more question. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I'll put H here. H. One more example. No need, you can, no need to put pictures, then otherwise you will have a lot of pages in your theory too. Tell me the name of most common reptile in your house. Any house, this reptile can be found. You can't find crocodile and iguana inside the house. Inside the house, you can't keep the cobra inside the house. But any house, this reptile is there. Yes, what is the most common reptile inside your house? Yasiru?
Lizard.
Yes, home lizard. Very good. Netu? Yes. Please. Very good. You might not believe, once in the oral paper they ask this question part 1. They give a question. I'll discuss in your paper class all the past questions. Sunday morning paper class, grade 10 paper class, I'll discuss all the past MCQs, essays and structured essays under this chapter, because every year you get a question, mostly essay type or structured essay type question from this lesson, because this lesson is lengthy, so the content is more. So this is one of the longest biology lesson in your grade 10 syllabus. Grade 10 part 1, grade 10 part 1 and part 2. Out of all the biology lessons, the longest lesson chapter 13 and 14, right? So please write here dinosaurs. After dinosaurs, write gecko or home lizard. Gecko, G-E-C-K, gecko. Or you can write here home lizard, huna. That is reptile. In addition that, you can write python, viper, any serpent, even water snake, rat snake, guarantee, polongu, water snake also reptile. Water snake, not a snake, reptile. So there are some aquatic ones also, right? And some of them used as food. Sometimes the people they eat, no, ibimas. But anyway, it's some of these it's illegal to keep, because without permission some of them are endangered, vulnerable species. So they are included in the red data book, Ratu Datta Pota, published by the environmental IUCN. Okay, so then let's complete the table now. In addition that, you can write here water monitor, Abaragoya, Talagoya, iguana, they are reptiles. Any serpent, reptile, dinosaurs, right? Gecko. Okay, that's enough for examples. Then let's complete the table now. I'll erase the screen. Okay. Back to the previous page, page number 7. Under reptiles, right? Habitat, right? Both aquatic and terrestrial. Both aquatic and terrestrial. Both aquatic and terrestrial. Both aquatic and terrestrial. Next one. Body of the skin. Please write here no glands in the skin. Very, very important. No glands in the skin. No glands in the skin, but the body, the skin is covered scales, covered by scales. No glands, covered. Write in short form. Don't write long sentences. Then it's easy to study. Textbook they have given separate paragraph for each class, but I didn't give separate paragraph for each class when the exam is closed, especially not to your grade 10 term test. When oral exam is closed, you can easily refer, because you remember they will never give a question in the O-level paper. Write down an essay about reptile. Write down all the characteristics that you know about reptiles. They will never ask questions under new syllabus like that. Always you should know how to compare reptiles and amphibians differences, reptiles and amphibians similarities, If they give, there's an animal, unidentified animal X. This animal has these features. To which group you suggest to include this organism X? There's an organism X. They will give 2 or 3 features and ask what is the most suitable group to include this organism X. A new organism identified by scientists suggest. So if you know the features of each class, then you can decide to which group we should include this organism, unidentified organism. Understood? That's how you get the questions. Sometimes you can get a flow diagram, right? Or sometimes they will give like a soup, one organism from each, and they will ask to write to identify to which class they belong, plus similarities, differences, like that, or economical importances. So no glands covered with scales. The body is covered with scales. No glands in the skin. Again, I'll compare with the previous group. This is the most widely tested part in the exam. This one I told the scales are present, right? This one scales are absent. This one again scales are present, right? And the other one here no glands. So the glands not present in this. And here the glands are present. Poisonous glands are present. Here no glands. Right? So like that, these glands and the scales very important. But when it's come to fish case, so there are fins also and tail also in the body. But the others, they don't have that. That is possible. And they also 3-chambered heart, incompletely divided ventricle. 4-chambered means like we have 2 ventricles and 2 auricles. Then reptiles also cold-blooded. Reptiles also, right, cold-blooded. That means body temperature changes with the environmental temperature. What is cold-blooded? They don't have a fixed body temperature. All are cold. All these are cold-blooded. All 3 groups cold-blooded, and what is common to this? All born out of eggs. All are cold-blooded. And if there's amphibians and fish difference, you can write what? Fish or the fish case 2-chambered heart, amphibians 3-chambered heart. This is how you get questions. Otherwise, you will never get a question. Write down an essay about amphibians, then everyone will write. Right? So under science paper, new syllabus, the questions, you don't get such questions, right? That's why I gave this in the form of table. Then next one, respiratory organs. Actually they have lungs. They have lungs for the respiration. Reptiles, they have lungs for the respiration. Then next one, respiration by lungs. Skeleton, right? Bony endoskeleton made of bones. Endoskeleton made of bones. Internal skeleton. What is the other term used for the poikilo? These cold-blooded animals. If you want, you can put a curly bracket for all this, right? What are the other terms used for this? Ectothermic. Cold-blooded is also known as ectothermic. Earlier by mistake I have given homeothermic for the fish case, so please change that. Or sometimes we call it poikilothermic. Textbook they have given this word. So I propose you to remember both this. A-level biology they have given ectothermic. O-level your grade 10 they have given this word also. But what is the meaning? This all three the same meaning. Either you take cold-blooded or poikilothermic or ectothermic, the same meaning. Then next one under reptiles, special features. So you can see here their fertilization is internal. That is a special feature with compared to the other groups. So this is internal fertilization with compared to the previous group. Previous groups external fertilization. And actually this is also very important. Dry skin without glands. That also you can write. Dry skin without glands. That also is special feature. Dry skin without glands. Dry skin without glands. Without glands, highlight. Very important. Dry skin without glands, please highlight. Right. And they use pentadactyl limbs for the locomotion. Pentadactyl limbs for the locomotion. Right. So examples you can write. examples you can write gecko or home lizard. Gecko. You can write few examples under reptiles. Gecko, G-E-C-K-O, gecko, or home lizard, or you can write even lizard. Then you can write the special ones, turtles, because by mistaken the students they put this under mollusca, turtles, tortoise, water monitor, dinosaurs, serpents, all the snakes come under reptiles. Water monitor, iguana, crocodile, right? Then next class, the fourth most developed class of vertebrates, class aves. Class aves. In the exam, don't write the word, if you only write here within bracket birds, but don't write in the exam class birds, you have to write class aves. So even don't write class fish, you have to write class pisces. So you can see there are a lot of birds, but special ones you can write here. This is penguin. Penguin is bit important. I think it's figure B. It should be penguin bird. The smallest bird in the world, hummingbird. That also you can write separately. The smallest bird in the world, kiwi. Also important. Some countries they use like flagship species. Flagship species. So example, Australia kangaroo. Flagship species. Then in New Zealand, the kiwi. So New Zealand cricket team, you can see the kiwi feather they use in the cricket, garments. And some countries they use this flagship species, so the parrot. Then this one, peacock. Peacock. Then owl. Pakamuna. Woodpecker, kottorua. Woodpecker. In addition, you can write here eagle, any other bird, name of any other bird, eagle, right? In addition, you can write parrot, myna, penguin, peacock, owl, woodpecker, eagle large, right? And in addition, what about this cock, hens, kikilio, kukullo, birds, right? Right? They are birds. Remember? So on Hans here, they're birds. Jungle fowl, Valikukula. Can you write here separately? National bird in Sri Lanka. National bird in Sri Lanka, jungle fowl. In Sinhala we call it Valikukullo or Haban Kukula, jungle fowl. Right here within bracket, national bird in Sri Lanka. National bird in Sri Lanka. Gallus lafayette, scientific name. National bird in Sri Lanka. Jungle fowl, not parrot, jungle fowl. Right. In addition, you can write hens, ducks. Ducks also bird. Duck is a bird. Aquatic. They are associated in aquatic environment. Swan, duck, hens, eagle, woodpecker, all duck. All are birds. Birds. If you ask from a grade 3-4 students, they might put like they can't decide this sometimes. Okay, they get confused. Bird, duck, so on. Sometimes they might. Some of them are smart, but anyway, there's a diversity, no? There's a diversity. So birds no teeth, only beak. Birds no teeth, only beak. Birds feathers instead of fins. The fish, the aquatic ones fins and the tail, but this one feathers for locomotion. And they have very sharp eyesight, especially eagle. Eagle, very sharp eyesight. That is because some of them are carnivorous. Some of them are carnivorous. So they have very sharp eyesight. So in the exam, your eye should be like an eagle. Your eye should be like an eagle in the exam. Why? You should have very sharp. You should observe the question word clearly. Active word, incorrect, correct, false statement, like that. These important words you have to pay more attention. So you have to be a good observer. Actually, birds they live with a lot of fear. They live with a lot of fear. Have, like, if you are really wanting to observe the birds, so you go near them, then they will fly away. Why? They are scared of you. If you clap, they will fly. They live with fear. Now at night you can lock the doors and windows and sleep until morning. Even the parents lock the door, knock the door in the morning to wake up. So the class is there today. Please wake up. I was still sleeping. So you don't listen. You don't. I mean, uh, no response. So as fast sleep, and then parents might again make louder noise, and somehow they will wake up you. And but anyway, birds they can't. Birds and even dogs, so the pets in your house, what happened? Small, if you I mean, crackers and all the sound, they start running, they hide, right? Even the dogs are pets in your house, so therefore you entertain, but they live with lot of fear. They run here and there, the dogs, and they hide. So therefore, for your entertainment, they get really, kind of, you can imagine the situation, right? Therefore you have to be concerned. If you are a nature lover, so you should learn to love the nature and the other animals in the nature. So because they are innocent, some of the animals, you can lock the doors and windows and sleep without any fear. No one will come to your lion, the carnivores, they will not come to your house or inside your room at night and take you, and you will not become the food of them. Your parents will never let, even when you are small, right? Until you are grown up, maybe 6 months, a small baby, they can't run, they can't walk. But what can you, like, can you imagine in the nest, bird nest? So some of the, before they hatch the eggs, mother bird, they are eaten by the other serpents. And some of them, the young ones, before they fly, before they are able to fly, the young birds, after they are, when they are born out of the eggs, they become the prey of the predators. So can they lock the doors? Do they have air conditioned room? So they, at a lot of environmental conditions or dry climate, so for the rain they get wet, and so not like us. Therefore, you have to be very careful when, if you are going to the Singharaja forest or Amazon or any other, dry Vasgamu or Madhuru. So that is, you should if you enter university and learn zoology, you will learn all this animal behavior, human behavior as a separate unit course in your university. I mean, if one day if you enter your science faculty, and if you do this zoology subject, you will learn these things, very interesting. How do they reproduce, what is their lifetime, how long they live, and the males, females, their habitat and everything, right? So that is a separate branch called ornithology. We call it, there's a professor also in the Kalam University, I don't know whether you have heard about this, Professor Sarat Kotagama. Professor Sarat Kotagama, there are PhDs. PhD, that means you can do a PhD about birds. PhD is not PhD paper, PhD, right? PhD about birds. So we call it ornithology. You are specialized about birds then. By looking at the bird, you can tell male bird or female bird. Age also you can tell. But now at least by looking at a crow, can we tell, even through the binoculars, we can't decide whether male crow or female crow, right? By looking at the crow, we can't decide sometimes. By looking at some of the birds, we don't know whether male bird or female bird even. Peacock can, cock and hen, kukula kikili can, monara severi can. But I'm talking about some of the other birds. We can't sometimes. So we can't, very difficult to distinguish the male from females. Therefore, those things also, and they have their body is light in weight. Their body is light in weight. If you take sparrow, gay kurulla, so some of them are herbivores, they don't eat, and some of them carnivores, some of them are omnivores, some of them are omnivores, some of them are herbivores, some of them are carnivores. So therefore, there's a diversity about birds. Right, now let's complete the table. Right, under birds, so the aves, right, habitat, right, mostly I mean, environmental, I mean, they, some are aquatic and terrestrial, both they are aquatic, terrestrial. Mostly air, atmosphere. Then body, right? Body is covered with feathers. Covered with feathers. Body is covered with feathers. And one more thing you can write, body is covered with feathers and the scales are limited to limbs. Korapatu, scales limited to limbs. I mean kakul, limited to limbs. LIMBS. Covered with feathers and the scales are limited to the limbs. Then heart chambers, very important, 4-chambered heart. That means birds are more developed than reptiles and amphibians. Birds are more developed than reptiles and amphibians because they have 4-chambered heart. So that is mammals and birds. In the exam, if there's a similarity, you can write this. Both mammals and birds, common feature, you can write 4-chambered heart. Very important, highlight that. 4-chambered heart, highlight. Common to both. That's why I give this in the form of a table, because then it's easy to identify the similarities and differences. And the other most important, you can write this with a red pen. Common to both mammals and birds, write warm-blooded. Warm-blooded. Warm-blooded means fixed body temperature. Body temperature constant. What is warm-blooded? Body temperature constant. Constant body temperature. Body temperature does not change with the environmental temperature. There's a single term used for this. We call them homeothermic. Homeothermic. Some we call it endothermic. Homeothermic. Homeothermic. Or sometimes we call it endothermic. Right. So they also born out of eggs. Birds also. And the birds fertilization internal. They're very important. Birds fertilization internal. Under reproduction, right? Born out of eggs. I'll erase this. Here, right? Under reproduction of the fourth column. I'm talking about this fourth column birds. Reproduction only this part, right? Internal fertilization. After internal fertilization, eggs are released to the outside. But the sperms and the eggs meet inside the body. That's the meaning of internal fertilization. What is internal fertilization? Sperms and eggs meet inside the body. Internal fertilization. Reptiles also what? Internal fertilization. You can write, put a curly bracket for both reptiles and birds. Internal fertilization. But the other two, external fertilization mostly. There are some exceptions, but this one always internal fertilization. Internal fertilization, right? Then respiratory organ, lungs. 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 Then skeleton, right? Bone is skeleton but light bones. Bones are light in weight. Right here, endoskeleton. Light bones. Bones are light in weight because it's easy to make the body easy to, I mean, it's make easy to fly. The bones are light in hollow bones. Bones are not heavy like our body. Bones are light in weight. Bones are light in weight. Okay, it makes easy for them to fly. Next one, if you take birds or the aves, special features. This is bit important. Under special features, you can write lot of things under birds. Number one, you can write no teeth. No teeth. Only beak. No teeth, only beak. Next one. Number two, second most important one you can write, streamlined body for flying. Streamlined body. But actually this also you can write under special features of which also you can write is streamlined body. Streamlined body, or else you can write under body also, the number two also you can write this streamlined body for, that is for the, you call it anakula hadaya. Even the boats, ships, planes, we call it aerodynamic shapes. Aerodynamic shapes. Planes, helicopters also having this same body shape, the streamlined body shape. In single we call it anakula head. Then they have eyes with eyelids. They have eyes with eyelids. With eyelids. That also a bit important, because otherwise the dust particles will, then you need a wiper. So the eyelids act as the wiper. You can wipe off the dust particles deposited on the surface. Even we have eyelids. You blink your eyes. Why do we blink our eyes? Blinking eyes. And you have your eyes. There are tear glands. Tear glands. Tears come and you blink your eyes. When you blink, what happens? These tear glands, like same as the windscreen wiper. Windscreen wiper, you have to spray some water to the windscreen before you wipe using the wipers. So here also tear glands helps to keep the they help to keep the surface of your eyes, wet, moist, and then dust particles can be easily wiped off without putting water. If you on the wiper of your windscreen, what happens? The glass of the windscreen can get damaged or can get scratched. Right? So same scenario in your eyes, the tear glands secrete tears. If you don't get enough tears, you have to buy natural tear drops from the pharmacy. You can buy natural tear drops. So you can put 1 or 2 drops of these natural tears to your eyes per day, once per day. So you can put 1 or 2 drops, you can put. So especially when you are looking at the screen, now also everyone is looking at the screen. Some of you are very close to the screen, example mobile phone. Some of you are little bit away from the screen, say laptop. Some of you are using, if you are using the television, the LED television, if you connect your laptop through a HDMI cable to the LED television, then you can at least 6-7 feet away you can stay in front of the screen. That is better than in front of the laptops and the mobile phone. Because if short distance, when the distance between your eyes and the screen become less, what happen? Your eyes getting dried due to this light coming from the screen, plus blue violet light coming from your screen can damage your retina. So therefore during online sessions you have to be careful about your posture, your position. Otherwise you can get back pain, neck pain. The same posture for about 2-3 hours. Immediately after this class again you will have another, the whole day you have online classes, the school online class, then you are in the same position, but then less lack of physical exercise, that will affect your health. Right? Now eyes, you have to be careful. So eyelids, so very important. So you blink your eyes. No, we understand that is involuntary. We don't purposely like. This is involuntary. Blinking eyes involuntary. Either you think or not. If you take a statue, yes, they don't blink. That's how you can check whether it's a real one or not. Some of the statues, so it looks real, but you can check whether they are blinking. But if you take a robot, sometimes in the future you will get robots in the food city and this pharmacy or whatever the supermarkets, robots, someday they might blink eyes. So therefore we call it augmented reality, virtual reality. So in the future you get a lot of artificial intelligence. So there's a good area you have to pay attention in the future if you are doing higher studies. Computer science coupled with artificial intelligence and mechatronics and robotics. So these are the emerging fields in the future. What are those fields? Robotics, right? Robotics. Mechatronics. What is mechatronics? Mechatronics means mechanics plus electronics. You might not hear this word even from the others. That's why I'm telling this. Mechatronics. Mechanics and electronics combined. Automated machines. Have you seen this maybe jam bottle or some of the factories? No labors, only to switch on the machine. Then what happen? Bottles are moving, lid is automatically fixed, and the wrapping is automatically done. So the machine is doing maybe 100 people's work, done by one machine. So they will not do any mistake. Okay, if it is 100 ml manual, if you're going to do it, it will change. But exactly they will find. So pharmaceutical industry making tablets or pills. tablets is moving and added to the bottle, and bottle is sealed and the label is done, everything, and then is packed and everything. So just to no, therefore human labor now replaced by the machines. That is due to mechatronics. Due to mechatronics. What is that called? Mechatronics. One day if you are doing A-level maths, A-level physical science, if you enter engineering faculty, this is one of the very good area. Imagine there will be a lot of jobs created by 2030 from these areas, robotics. And the other one, artificial intelligence, AI. What is AI? Artificial intelligence. So all this combine in the future, then you will get a lot of changes. So then in addition that you can write this virtual reality, augmented reality, so with this technological device. So this is called technological revolution. So you are in the era of technological revolution. So we have passed the industrial revolution. IT bus has gone. Now the next revolution will be this technological revolution. Those who won't update the technology, they will fail. Even the teachers, lecturers, professors in the universities, they will not be able to teach in the future if they don't update if they don't learn the technology, right? Even any other sector. I told you in the bank, they can keep banks, supermarkets in the future with robotics. They can, with the mechatronics, artificial intelligence, 24 hours open. No need to pay salary, no need to pay overtime. The robot is doing the work, right? So now what happened? Humans, what is the disadvantage? People will lose the job. Customer care executives, when you take a call to dialog, mobile, telecom, any other sector, so you can see there must be a customer care executives. So they have to work at night also, the shift, right? So but this will be replaced by robots. So if you go and ask, I need 100 packets of biscuits or 100 packets of milk powder. So if you ask from a normal keeper, the person in the supermarket, what, wait till I'll go to the stores and check. So he will go and he will take about 10-15 minutes. But if you feed all the goods, the data into this using this to the robot, you feed all the goods in the market, you feed the data. Okay, the biscuits, this much of packets, the price this much, the expiry date this much. Then you ask from the robot, I need this biscuit, how many biscuits can I buy today? So I have a function, so I need this much. Robot will tell, okay, we have exactly this much. Why? You feed the data, right? You ask the price, they will reply. So no need to memorize, right? Therefore now what happened? Can a normal person remember, even a doctor, can doctor remember 8,000 medicines in his head? Okay, if you take a cancer medicine itself there can be 800 cancer medicines in the world, cancer pills. So can a doctor remember all this? They rotate 2-3 medicines in their head in Sri Lanka. But if you with artificial intelligence and all, if you take your report, the diagnosis, so your whatever the blood report and everything, and then again after diagnose the disease, then you can the search library, you can get this. Okay, what is the best medicine for my disease? You can search, you will get the best medicine and the place also. This pharmacy has this medicine. So this will happen in the future. Therefore please be careful when you are doing higher studies, otherwise you will get a degree but you are jobless in the future if you don't apply the technology, right? If you don't pay attention to these areas, search in the internet what are the top jobs, what are the field by 2030, beyond 2030, right? Okay, so this is something beyond this, because only studying this and getting 9 years and 3 years not enough. You should know what is happening to the world in the future, right? Okay, you should update that also. So I gave now examples. Okay, let's write few examples. You can write here ducks. Then you can write eagle, right? Few examples under birds. Then you can write penguin. Then you can write woodpecker. Which bird has the largest egg in the world? Which bird possesses the largest egg? Yes, Sumaila?
Ostrich.
Very good, ostrich. Right, ostrich, right? Largest egg. Ostrich highlight, largest egg. Under examples, write the special ones. Don't write parrot and myna and all these common ones. Ostrich highlight, that's a bit important. Right, largest egg. There's one more example, important one, hummingbird. Hummingbird, right? The smallest bird in the world. Hummingbird is smallest bird. Largest bird also ostrich. Largest bird ostrich. Smallest bird in the world hummingbird. In addition to that, you can write jungle fowl. Jungle fowl also write. Why jungle fowl? National bird in Sri Lanka. Jungle fowl, national bird in Sri Lanka. Gallus lafayette. Valikukula, haban kukula, like in. You can't keep them without permission. You can't trade jungle fowl. You can't keep in your house without permission. It's illegal. You can't keep on hunting them. They will get disappeared, right? Or get extinct from the national bird. But national bird, the name is there, but no birds in Sri Lanka then, right? Okay. Then last one, mammals. Okay. Before we complete the table under mammals, let's see examples. Other than cat, dog, donkey, lion, tiger, let's see the special examples of mammals. Remember, some are flying mammals, some are aquatic mammals, some mammals lay eggs. Right? So let's see those special ones first. Can you see here? This one, teeth present, but normally birds only beak. This one teeth. Then earlobes. Birds no earlobes. Have you seen myna, parrot, crow with earlobes like this? No. Teeth and earlobes. Therefore, they have feathers. So this is bat. So both these you can write the common. Bats do not lay eggs. Bats do not lay eggs. They give birth to young ones. They have teeth. They have earlobes. So therefore, bat you can't put under birds. Bat comes under mammals. So bat is a flying mammal. That is important. Then who can tell me this one? Figure next one. Before that, I had given few more examples at the top. Sorry about that. Here also there's a set. Well, this also we'll write. We'll start from here. Page number 8, bottom. So can you write here? Class Mammalia. Class Mammalia. Who can tell me figure A? Yes. Can anyone recognize this mammal? Uncommon one, no? Uncommon one. Yes, Sumela?
Sea dog, Diaballa.
Yes, very good. Sea dog. So there's a term we use for otter. Diaballa. Otter. This is also called otter. If you write within that, sea dog. Sea dog. Sea dog or otter aquatic mammal. So you can write all these what? Aquatic mammals. All these are aquatic mammals. Please write here aquatic mammals. Aquatic mammals. Aquatic mammals. This one B. Who is B? B is Talal? Randir? Safi? C is? Dolphin. B dolphin. C? Isula?
The seal.
The seal.
Yes. So we call it sea lion, right? Sea lion. They are aquatic. In addition to that, monkey, orangutan, gorilla, chimpanzee, they also there, but that one you can remember easily. So these one like uncommon ones. Right. They are aquatic mammals. There's one more. Who is the? I have not given that here. No? Can you please tell me the largest animal in the world? A mammal. Who is the largest animal in the world? Who can tell me the largest animal in the world, also mammal? Yasiru?
Blue whale.
Very good. Blue whale. Can you please add here, write separately, D write blue whale. Right, largest animal in the world. Largest animal in the world, blue whale. That also aquatic. Aquatic animal. Right. So these are all for aquatic mammals. Aquatic mammals. Otter or sea dog, dolphin, sea lion, blue whale. Then next one, I'll erase the screen. Next page top. Again I have put set of mammals. Bat. I explain this on a bat. Bat is a mammal, flying mammal. Flying mammal. Flying mammal. Then who can tell me this organism? E. Who is E? That also we call it aquatic one. It looks like a duck. Looks like a duck or like kind of but that is also uncommon one, but a mammal. Yes, anyone? Nisula? Vinuka?
Platypus.
The platypus.
Yes, platypus. So we call it duckbill platypus. Tara hota platypus. 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 So what is the specialty this one? They are called egg-laying mammal. Platypus. And what is the last one? This one? This F. Who can tell me F?
Anteater.
Anteater.
Yeah, very good. Anteater. Kumi budinna. Anteater. Can you please put a curl bracket to these two, right? These two egg-laying mammals. Egg-laying mammals. Mammals do not lay eggs, but this is one exception. One exception. These mammals lay eggs. Egg-laying mammals. Egg-laying mammals. What? Platypus and anteater. Others, everything else nicely matched with the mammals, but this is one exception. Just because of this one feature, you can't put down birds or reptiles. Feed on ants. So those are the special ones. So there are aquatic ones, there are flying mammals, there are egg-laying mammals. Egg-laying mammals. Actually, why it is called anteater? Anteater feed on ants. That's why it's called anteater. Feed on ants. Right. Then let's see. Last column in your table, mammals. Right. Go back to the previous table. Page number 7. Under mammals, right? Habitat. Found in all the environments. Mammals are found in all the environments, both aquatic and terrestrial. There are both aquatic and terrestrial. Both aquatic and terrestrial. Then the body or the skin. Body is, this is very important. You can write with a red pen if you want. Covered with hairs or fur. If you take cats, dogs, fur. Covered with hairs or fur. Our body is covered with not feathers, hairs. Not scales, covered with hairs. The mammals, all the mammals. Then the other one, heart chambers, same as birds, 4-chambered heart. 4-chambered heart. And we have glands also, right? We have glands, mammary glands and sebaceous glands are there in our skin to produce milk. Females, there are mammary glands. We'll write that under special features. We'll write mammary glands under special features. Right. And there are sebaceous glands also. Next one, we are warm blooded. Both, I told you earlier also to write common to both this, warm blooded. What are the other terms used for the warm blooded? Homeothermic or endothermic. Then reproduction, give birth to young ones. Give birth to young ones. Do not lay eggs. Give birth to young ones. They don't lay eggs. Do not lay eggs. Then respiratory organ, right? Lungs. Respiratory organ, lungs. Then under reproduction, right, one more thing, internal fertilization, right? Actually, I told you earlier also, both birds and mammals, internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. Only difference, birds lay eggs, mammals give birth to young ones, but both the sperms and the eggs meet inside the body. They meet inside the body. Then skeleton, right? Endoskeleton. Bony skeleton. Endoskeleton made of bones. Endoskeleton made of bones. Right. I'll erase the screen. Endoskeleton made of bones. Then under special features, this one you have to remember. This is very, very important. If you want to write with a red pen or highlight them after writing. Number one, right? One of the very special feature of this one, presence of earlobe. Earlobe is special feature. Hampetha, earlobe. Second is special feature, right? Then second is special feature, right? Double circulation. Double circulation. That means blood circulation, double circulation. That's a special feature, not seen in the others. And next one, mammary glands. Mammary glands also is special feature because because young ones feed on mother's milk. Young ones feed on mother's milk. Therefore, mammary glands important. Then there are glands which secrete milk. Oily-like substance to the skin. We call it sebaceous gland. Sebaceous. Sebaceous glands also present in the skin. What are the two types of glands? Sebaceous gland. Sebaceous. Sebaceous glands and mammary glands present in the skin. Earlobe. In addition to that, red blood cells, so we call it RBC without nucleus. RBC without nucleus. Normally, if you take a living cell, there must be a nucleus. This red blood cells without nucleus. That also is special feature of mammals. And they are testes outside the body. Ushanakosha. Not inside the body, outside the body. That also is special feature. They will not ask all these special features. At least few of this you can remember. Red blood cells nucleus without nucleus, and they are biconcave shape. RBC like this, biconcave shape like this. We have red blood cells, and there are hemoglobin in these red blood cells. If you make a small sketch of this diagram, red blood cells. I have given anyway at the bottom also special features of but not seen in the others. You can write few here. I have given them separately since it is important. If you miss any of this, don't worry. You can include few in the table, but I have given the list separately. So write few examples here. What are the examples? You can write the special ones first. Let's write aquatic ones, aquatic mammals first. What are the aquatic mammals? Whale, right? Dolphin, sea lion. You can put a curly bracket and write aquatic. Then you can write bat, flying mammal. Then you can write next one, anteater, and platypus. in front of anteater and platypus, right? Egg-laying mammal. Egg-laying mammal. In front of whale and dolphin, in front of whale, dolphin and sea lion, right? Aquatic mammals. Bat, flying mammal. Anteater, platypus, egg-laying mammal. Mammals, those who lay eggs. So there are two exceptions here, anteater and platypus. So that's enough for these mammals. And let's see now, I have given separately some special features here. 4 different types of teeth highlight. Covered with hairs highlight. Feed on mother's milk highlight. 2 sets of teeth highlight. External earlobe highlight. So these are the special features of mammals. That's why the mammals most developed. Who is dominant on the earth now? Mammals. Out of mammals also, who is dominant now? Homo sapiens. But next extinct will be most probably Homo sapiens, because the damage caused by Homo sapiens to the environment, nature, is more than from any other species in the world. Right? We invade the entire environment. And yeah, now I have given some other special feature. Internal fertilization. Testes are present outside the body, and RBC or red blood cells. What is the other term used for the RBC? Red blood cells. Erythrocytes. Hemoglobin present, that's why they are red. Biconcave shape highlight, lacking nucleus underline or highlight. RBC highlight, biconcave shape highlight, lacking nucleus highlight. So these 8 special features you have to remember separately. Mammals, because that is the most developed vertebral group or the class. In addition to that, out of mammals also the most developed one, humans. Why? I'll give one example. Humans or man, there are some, out of all the other mammals, the man has some unique features. One example, no other animal in the world can smile, right? Only man, humans can smile. They will show the teeth. The dogs and all, when they fight also they show the teeth, dogs. But humans. And the other one, facial expression, I mean what is this called, brain capacity. So the memory power, thinking ability, so that is drawing skills, and holding something from 2 fingers, seen only in mammals, only in humans. Right? So humans, memory power, brain capacity, then thinking ability, and language. So no other animal using a language in the world. I mean, kind of they communicate, but they don't pronounce the words like us, right? And language, then this what is this called, drawing, I mean make drawing pictures and all. So mammals are more developed. I mean, out of mammals, humans are more developed. And we can hold anything from 2 fingers, but other mammals like even monkeys, they can't hold anything from 2 fingers. If you can take a peanut from 2 fingers and eat using your thumb and the first finger, but they are like, they need all 5 fingers to eat something. And writing skill, that also is special feature. So that is the end of 5 classes of vertebrates. Then the last part, we have to discuss about microorganisms. With that we are finishing this lesson. Only microorganisms. Please go through this last page. Okay, I wanted to complete this now. I think I gave for homework. Page number 11. I have got no need to memorize these scientific names, but just go through this. You should be familiar with the most common ones. So microorganisms I can finish next day. And before that, before I finish today's one, can you all please tell me the answers for this flow diagram, the last page of your theory table, summary of the plant classification. We have done plant classification, we have done. I want you to find the answers for this part. Page number, the last page of the table, summary. Can you all please tell me the next side in this flow diagram, write the other side. This is non-vascular plants, here write vascular plants. Vascular plants. Vascular plants. Under vascular plants, non-vascular plants, there are 2 groups, liverworts and mosses. Please highlight non-vascular plants. Below that write within bracket Bryophyta. Within bracket write Bryophyta. You don't have this flow diagram in the table, that's why I gave this. You don't have this, sorry, in the textbook. You don't have this in the textbook. Liverworts and mosses. If you want, you can write here liverworts. What is the example? You should know Pogonatum and Marcantia. You can write. Vascular plants highlight below. Vascular plants, there are three groups, mainly two groups: seed plants and that is called gymnosperms. Seed plants means gymnosperms. Wait, not gymnosperms. Seed plants. Sorry, gymnosperms we have write separately here. Seed plants. There are two types: angiosperms and gymnosperms. 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 Non-seed plants. Lycophyta, you can write example Selaginella. Pterophyta, you can write ferns or nephrolophis. Nephrolophis. So plants can be divided into two groups based on the presence of vascular tissues. Plants with vascular tissues are called vascular plants. Plants without vascular tissues are called non-vascular plants. The non-vascular plants again divided into two groups: liverworts and mosses. Right? Mosses means Pogonatum. And liverworts means Marcantia. Example you should know under each. Seed plants, you get both angiosperms and gymnosperms. What are the two groups of seed plants? Angiosperms and gymnosperms. Angiosperms are also called flowering plants. Gymnosperms are called non-flowering with seeds. With seeds. Sometimes in the exam you can get a similar flow diagram and they can ask questions. They can give this similar flow diagram with blank cages and they can ask questions in the exam. So anyone still copying down this? Please raise the hand. Why are these called vascular plants? They are vascular plants means, if you want, you can put an arrow and write vascular tissues are present. What is the meaning of vascular plants? Vascular tissues are present. What are the vascular tissues? Xylem and phloem. Xylem plus phloem. Phloem are called vascular tissues. Grade 11 students, they learn xylem and phloem in detail. Therefore, basically the plants with xylem and phloem called vascular plants. Without xylem and phloem called non-vascular. So the most developed plants, the vascular tissues are present. Most developed plants in the world, vascular tissues are present. That means monocot and dicot. When you are done, please lower your hand. There's, I think, two more cages I have to fill at the bottom. Right. Now remember, this chapter you are getting essay type questions in the oral paper. That's why this is this bit lengthy, and you have to be very careful. Otherwise you will lose marks from the essay type questions if you don't study this, not only for the grade 10 term test, oral exam, oral science paper. Then let's move down. Angiosperms, there are two types. Shall I erase this? Anyone, did you all finish writing? Anyone still coming down? Sandushi, if you're done, tell please lower your hand, or else you can take a screenshot and copy down that later. Right. Remember, if you have if your internet connection is unstable, so these words will not be clear, like the shared content will not be clear. That is, the problem is not with the something wrong with my side. So that is, your internet connection is on, then you can request the recording. Some students during the online session, so the screen become unclear, like not clear, the screen, shared screen is not clear. That is due to the low, internet connection, unstable internet connection. That's the reason, right? Okay. Then come to the last two. Angiosperms are divided into two groups: monocot and dicot. Below monocot, write few examples. Monodicot, write few examples. What are the examples under monocot? You can write grass, paddy, like that. You can write few examples. Dicot, you can write mango, jack, like that. Right, done. mango, jack, rambutan, right? You can write any of these. Most of them are most of the we use most of the monocots we use as main staple food. Example, paddy, wheat. In European countries they use wheat as the main staple food. Asian countries use paddy like the rice as the main staple food. So then they are, even though they are, coconut. You can't make a curry without coconut milk or coconut oil, right? Mostly we use coconut oil and coconut oil to make a curry, right? And rice and curry. So Asian countries, so monocots are important, right? Okay, then that's the end of this one. So with the microorganisms, we can finish the lesson next week. So today we finish all the vertebrates, the 5 classes, and next week I will do microorganisms, especially viruses, very important topic these days, no, viruses. And right. So then we'll stop for today, and let's continue the rest next week. Please complete Northwestern Province paper next week. Tomorrow morning, Sunday morning paper class, I will discuss that paper, and 100 MCQs also last few we have to discuss. Right. Okay, then have a nice day. God bless you all and stay safe.